Henry Kissinger is a well-known statesman and diplomat, at least that's what they tell us. But did you know that he also helped bring one of the greatest football players of all time to America? Well, let me tell you how. It was the year 1975, and Pelé had just won the World Cup with Brazil. He was considered the best player in the world at the time, and a global superstar. But his contract with Santos, the Brazilian club team he played for, was about to expire, and he wanted to play in the American Soccer League. The problem was that Pelé was also a global icon in Brazil, and the Brazilian government was pressuring him to stay in the country. They offered him a deal, a bribe really, $60,000 a year plus a luxury apartment in Rio de Janeiro if he stayed. Now this is where Kissinger's story begins. As the story goes, he was watching the World Cup final in the summer of 1975 when he got a call from the president of the NASL, the North American Soccer League, who asked for his help in bringing Pelé to the United States. At the time, Pelé was considering an offer from the New York Cosmos, and Kissinger, ever the statesman, saw an opportunity to improve relations between the two countries. He invited the Brazilian president to Washington, and during their meeting, he expressed his desire for closer ties between the two countries. He also mentioned that it would be great if Pelé could play in the NASL. Now, whether this was part of his plan or just a lucky guess, but the Brazilian president took it as a suggestion that the US government would help secure Pelé's transfer to the NASL. And that is exactly what happened. Kissinger put in a good word for Pelé with the Brazilian government, and suddenly the $60,000 bribe was no longer on the table. Pelé was free to go to America, and in 1977 he signed with the New York Cosmos. Now the details of this story are a bit fuzzy. There are some reports that say that Kissinger actually threatened the Brazilians with withholding diplomatic support unless they let Pelé go. But regardless of how it went down, the fact was that Kissinger helped bring one of the greatest soccer players of all time to America. And it wasn't just good for Pelé or the Cosmos or even the NASL, it was good for American soccer as a whole. Pelé's presence in the league raised its profile and helped grow the sport in the United States. So next time you hear Henry Kissinger's name, think of him not just as a statesman or a diplomat, but also as the man who brought Pelé to America. Subscribe if you think he is a genius.